Well, hello everybody. How are we feeling tonight? Hmm? Tav out, Raskin out, Danilo out, Jeffy in, Cameron in, Dessers in. That's what everybody was asking for, and nobody said that Martin would do it, but he did. So here, joining me tonight for this build-up to this Champions League playoff, I wish, third round qualifier against Viktoria Plzen is Fraser. Fraser, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah. I'm actually feeling quite excited for tonight because I think the changes, I think they were brave, but I think they make sense. Looking forward to it.
Well, now I'm seeing loads of this, and Russ we trust. It's amazing what a change in lineup can do.
Yeah.
It's up to the players, obviously, that he's picked to go out and back the manager and play for him and do what we want the players to go out and do, obviously. But it will be very, very interesting to see. Right, before we start, Fraser, I thought I would play the manager's interview because I've not heard that. I don't suppose you've heard it yet either.
Only wee bits.
So it will be good to hear his pre-match thoughts. No, hopefully he's been asked about the changes. I'm pretty sure that he would have. But anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's hear what the manager had to say.
Russell, obviously 4 changes to the team from Saturday. Just talk us through those.
I think just for freshness, just for energy in the team, for balance in the team. I think it's the best team to start the game and to approach it in the right way. And then we have some really good options on the bench as well.
Yeah, how much of an opportunity is it for the players coming into the team tonight?
I think it's huge. So I think it's a really important game for us for so many reasons. We need to improve on the performance from the weekend, and we have such a big opportunity to put a real stamp on this tie over 2 legs in the first game as we did against Panathinaikos. So I'm excited to see what the group's going to put out, and I'm looking forward to it.
How much of a boost is it to get Oliver registered in time for this one as well?
Yeah, the club's done brilliantly to get registered. Oliver done in time and registered. So it was always the plan to play him. If we got it done, he's ready. He's had some good minutes in pre-season. He's a natural athlete, and I think he'll really add to us.
What sort of challenge do you expect from Viktoria Plzen?
They're big, they're powerful, they're very direct, very well organised team. They'll be really aggressive in and out of possession. So we have to stand up to all of that and make sure that we try and turn it into the game that we want it to be rather than the game that they would like.
Yeah, we saw the important role the fans played here against Panathinaikos. It's important to channel their energy once again tonight.
Yeah, we have to give them some energy with the way that we start the game. So they were amazing and made a big difference to us. And away in Panathinaikos, they were incredible. The support on Saturday was brilliant. We can't ask any more from the supporters. They've been fantastic. So we have to do our bit tonight, and hopefully we can feel the same energy we did in the stadium against Panathinaikos, especially in that second half. And they definitely helped the team out through some tough moments in the first half in that game as well. So, yeah, the support's incredible at this club, and the lads need to feed off that.
It's important to make a fast start and almost bring the fans along as well.
Yeah, I think we just have to show big energy early on in the game, and I think everyone will want that, will enjoy that, and I think that's what we'll see.
Fraser, freshness, energy, and balance was Russell Martin's reasonings for his changes. Yeah, I can accept that. I can understand that, but I don't think that's the full reason as to why these changes have been made. It's only our 4th competitive game under Russell, but I mean, there's so much excitement in our comments. There's so much excitement across all of social media. What do you make of the changes that Martin's made?
Like I think I said to you off air, I think they all make sense, really. I mean, we've been crying out for a manager that actually, as they say, has a pair and doesn't stick with the same faces all the time, and we've got that tonight. I mean, the Tav change, we'll start with that. I don't think Tav's played that bad the first few games of the season. I don't think he's played brilliant either. But I think he's been moved out because we've obviously got a better player that's being played out of position to accommodate him. And I always think play players in their positions. If you've got a left back, play him as a left back. Don't stick a right back in there. It never works the same. They always want to float back to their regular position. So they, the Tav for Jeff, they make sense. Rothwell, I think he ran out of steam So I have a wee sneaky feeling that Rothwell will probably play 60, 65 minutes, and I think Raskin will come on. I think Raskin will have been dropped to make a point, but I have a feeling he might come on into that 6 position because he's played well there. So maybe that's his thing.
Can I just go back to a point that you made there? You think Raskin's been dropped to make a point? What point would that be?
I just think he was off it. I don't think he looked as interested against Motherwell as he usually has. I don't know. I mean, Martin said that there's been no bids for players. I don't know. There's something obviously between Martin and Raskin that's not quite clicking. I don't know if Martin's asking Raskin to do a job he doesn't necessarily want to do. But I felt on Saturday, wasn't it? I felt on Saturday.
I know.
He didn't look as interested. He didn't look as sort of tenacious self running about after every ball. He looked a wee bit lazy, a wee bit disinterested. So I think, Russell Martin's making the point that you may be the best player in the team, but you've got to go out there and prove it. And even if you're not happy with where we're making you play, you've still got to give 100%.
Listen, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And just to take you back to that quickly, as Russell Martin, and like you say, is making a point, is he also saying to all the players, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money you're on a week, if you don't play the way that I want you to play, you will not be in this team. Because on Saturday, Fraser, when he came out with his post-match stuff, we were all sort of giving it we've heard a little bit of this before, and has he went too early on some of the players? There was loads of back and forth. Everybody had all different sorts of opinions on it. But is this Russell Martin saying, well, I know that you can perform in Europe. I've seen you performing in Europe. It's the games against your Motherwells where you don't perform. So do you know what? See, if you don't perform at domestic level, you ain't playing those games in Europe.
Yeah, I think, and Diamandi, who's made the team, he's famous for not turning up in these sorts of games against Motherwell. But I just get the feeling that Russell Martin's a man that will come in, he will do it his way, the way exactly he wants to do it. Doesn't matter what you're on, like you said, who you are, what your reputation is, and he'll live or die by his decisions. But we've been crying out for that, been crying out for a strong manager like that. So be interesting to see if it works. Again, Tavernier, I mean, there you go. He's the first manager that's really dropped Tavernier, isn't he? There's been wee spells where he was left out in games that weren't as important, but Tavernier in the past would never have missed a Champions League qualifier. No matter what. He would have been, even if he was half fit, he'd have been in for it. So I think he is. I think he is making a point. I think he is showing to the likes of Raskin, you can't just give 100% in the big games. You've got to give it in all the games. Because imagine we lose the league at the end of the season by a point. That'll come right back to not trying hard enough against Motherwell in a game we were in charge of after 20 minutes.
Let's be honest. It won't just be Motherwell. If we continue to perform the way that we performed for 60 odd minutes in that game against Motherwell, we will drop more points, Fraser, throughout the season.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah. Listen, I'm absolutely delighted with the team. The only question mark has been about Raskin. There's a lot of people who are giving it's either Raskin or Rothwell. Raskin versus Rothwell. Why is Rothwell getting treatment over Raskin when he was our best player? And I'll come back to that, but I really want to go to that Tav change, and I'm absolutely delighted, Fraser, that we're going to see Aarons at right back, because I think it's became clear over the last 2 weeks, and I know it's a short time to be able to judge, but it's became very clear to me anyway that him at left back is just a wasted jersey.
It's not been working. He looks like he just looks like he wants to float into the middle and float to right back. He just looks uncomfortable there. He's trying to get it onto his other foot. It's just not working for him. And I believe he's played there quite a bit, but we didn't sign him to play in left back. He's not. We haven't signed him to play as our left back. We've signed him to improve our right back. And that's hopefully what we'll see tonight. And Jeffy, I think Jeffy's not that bad a player. He's made some mistakes.
I agree with you.
He can sleep at times, but generally he's quite good. I don't think he's been bad enough to get some of the treatment he's had off the fans. So I think it looks quite a balanced defence, certainly.
Well, Suter been given the captaincy as well. I think that's a good move, Fraser. I think that's a really, really good move by the manager. Look,
Yeah.
John Suter's limited in what he can do as a player. I don't think that's an out there thing to say. I think he would probably look a much better player playing in a team where you had to defend quite a lot and it was that kind of siege mentality and he had to stick his head on it or a last ditch challenge or booting the ball away. I think he looks a lot better in that sort of team. I could be wrong, it's just my own personal opinion. But I think given Suter that kind of next level of what's the word I'm looking for, Fraser? Accountability or responsibility. That's the word. I wasn't very good at English at school. Given Suter that next level of responsibility, I think you'll get just that wee 2 or 3% more out of him because he strikes me as that type of player who, if he gets the captaincy, he's all in. He's all in on that.
Yeah, it gives him a level of pride, doesn't it? He's walking out. I believe Rangers were his team. I think he was a Rangers. Was he a Rangers fan?
No idea.
No. But he's Scottish. He knows what it's about. He's grown up in Scotland. I think to walk out captain of Rangers in a Champions League qualifier, I think, yeah, like you said, it gives him responsibility and it gives him a level of pride, and he's not going to want to let himself or anyone else down with that responsibility. So yeah, definitely, it might just move him up a level.
Well, it could, and Beep Bop Boop there with the super chat. Thank you very much, Beep. It's John Suter's armband from now on, I say. It's one game, Fraser. It's one game. Let's just wait to see what happens tonight, because there's no guarantees that we're going to go out and look phenomenal and win the game comfortably. You know, there's already been a few comments saying, what if it doesn't work tonight? Well, let's just wait and see first, shall we? So, you know, John Suter will get the armband from now on if Tav doesn't play, I think. But there was a few people saying, what about Butland? I don't like a goalkeeper being the captain.
No.
I think it's got to be an outfield player for me, if we still treat the captaincy the same way that we have throughout the years. But I'm absolutely delighted that he's got it. And I don't have, maybe it's too early to judge, too early to tell. I feel comfortable with Giga at the back. I know he's maybe got one or two mistakes in him, but he's got that recovery pace as well. And he's a big unit of a boy. So I'm not going to be hypocritical and say that I'm delighted with John Suter playing, because I'm still on the fence with John if he can take us to that next level. But I've got no fear or qualms with Giga in there.
Suter always worries me when he's got a wee bit of time in the ball at the back.
Yeah.
And the ball's played back to him. He's got it at his feet. He's a brilliant defender. When the ball's coming at him, he's a cracking defender. I always feel as though he's going to give away a handball as well. It seems to be in nearly every game. There's a time where you're going, that's rolled down his arm, or his arm shouldn't have been there. And there's been a few. He's given away a few penalties over the last year or so. I don't know what it is. He just always seems to have his arms out. But he is a good defender. The other option, I suppose, Fernandez, I don't think he's ready. And with Giga being new, I think you've got to have, I think with Giga in there, I think Suter just gives a wee bit of someone that's been there and done it for Rangers, besides someone that's fairly new to the team. So I think the defence is what I think Martin was getting at when he said balance. And obviously sticking Ant-Man on the right. I think
we'll come to him in a wee second,
yeah. He's balanced the sides, and I think that it was very, very clear our right-hand side was our right-hand side was weak on Saturday. There didn't seem to be that balance.
No, I agree. I completely agree. In terms of the midfield, Fraser, Rothwell, Diamande and Cameron. The big news, obviously, is the big talking point is Tav, but it's also Raskin, who has been left out of the team. Towards the end of last season, or maybe since January last year or whatever, we've been screaming and shouting about Raskin, about how good he is, about how much money he could be possibly worth to the football club. Not started the season great. Is that a fair midfield for you? Rothwell, Diamande, Cameron, is he right? Well, I mean, he's the manager. He can do whatever he wants. We're just people who like to talk about it. But in your view, is he right to leave Raskin out? Because there's a few people saying, well, why Raskin and not Diamande?
I think you could toss a coin between Raskin and Diamande and which one was going to be left out. By the sounds of it, there maybe is an attitude or a bit of a clash with him and Raskin. So I don't think Raskin's been picked over Diamandi purely on performance. I think there's maybe been something between him and Martin. They've had words, and Martin's thought, "Oh, do you know what? You sit there just now, and I'll put Cameron on." I thought Cameron was, for all we were crap second half against Motherwell, I thought Cameron was bright. I thought he looked quite good. He did bring some energy to it. I certainly don't think he was one of the ones that was being told they were lazy or not doing what they were told to do. He looked bright, and I've been looking forward to him getting a start. Because in other games he's come on, he's looked bright. He looked like he's doing his job, really.
He's also got an opportunity, Fraser Cameron, to come on.
Absolutely.
Not to come on, sorry, to start, and to really show the manager what he can do in that position. It's a massive opportunity for him.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and he's more natural in that position than Raskin, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Cameron's used to playing that sort of left side of midfield, whereas Raskin just looked a wee bit uncomfortable there. So again, it's about putting the right player in the right position instead of trying to play someone out of position because they're good. There's no point in it's the old square pegs and round holes. So I think I'm excited to see Cameron. I think he looks like he's the sort of mentality that will take the opportunity. I think he'll give it his all. Whether he's good enough, we'll find out. But I think he'll give it his all tonight.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely delighted that a young Scottish player is starting in the middle of the park for Rangers in a European game, qualifier or not. I'm absolutely delighted. Right, Ant-Man Fraser. I need to learn how to pronounce his name properly because we can't go through the full season saying Ant-Man, right? Just signed yesterday, and there was me banging on the last 2 or 3 days, 2 days, sorry, about, right, well, if he's signed, I don't want any of this 2-3 weeks to bed in nonsense. Why can't they just start? We never do that at Rangers. Well, we have, Fraser. A little bit of a change up for us. We've got a new signing and we're going to see him start for the off.
Mm-hmm. I think that what that shows is it shows that Dowell was only in there because he was the best option we had. And I think that as soon as Ant-Man or Ant-Man or however we're going to say it, as soon as he's come in, Dowell's out because we've got a proper right winger. And I think a lot of people are saying Dowell's in because Martin loves him and he's going to try and make him a part of this team. But I think he really was just in there because we didn't have a better option on the right. And I think that's displayed by bringing a guy in yesterday and he's starting today. I think it just shows that how desperate we were for someone in that position that we're not really willing to give him time to bed in. We're just putting him straight in.
Yeah, and it was the worst kept secret as well. Sorry, Fraser, it was the worst kept secret as well. After the weekend, but I think we all knew. I think you could have went to the bookies and put your life savings on Dessers starting up front tonight, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Again, looked like he was giving his all against Motherwell. Danilo, I just don't think he's going to make it for us. I think he's a decent player. I really like him. I just don't think. I don't know if he's not quite robust enough or something. He doesn't seem to be as keen to do the dirty work as Dessers does. And what I find is Danilo seems to be better at taking the chances when he gets them, but Dessers creates a lot of his own chances. He creates a lot more chances. So Dessers may need 5 chances to score one, but he'll create 5 chances where Danilo can go through a whole game with barely getting a shot on goal. Yeah. And it's about being in the right place. Sometimes I think Dessers misses so many chances because he creates so many. He's in the right place very, very often. Whereas Danilo, he just, like you say, he seems to go missing, and there will be chances that will come and he'll get them, but he's missing for 80-85 minutes of the game. So Dessers had to start. I think, yeah, he's definitely. I don't know. Is Egeman injured? Is he just being protected because we might get big money for him? I don't know what the situation with him is, but I have a feeling once he's fit, he'll be gone. I don't see him being a part of our season, which is a shame, really. So I think it is going to be Dessers for now until someone else comes in.
Yeah, unless we sign somebody. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Can I just say also a big, massive thank you for those of you who watched last night's show. We did finish with a live performance from singer-songwriter and Big Blue Nose and massive Rangers Rabble fan Robin Keane. So a massive thank you to Robin. And her brothers noticed that she didn't put her dishes away. So, I mean, I didn't notice that. I don't know. I didn't notice. But that's poor form if true. That's very poor form if true. So that's the starting lineup done, Fraser. Right. We could go on about Rothwell as well, and we could maybe go on about Gassam or Gassman or Gassam or however it's pronounced or whatever. Right. But I want to focus a little bit on the subs bench. Right, Kelly, Tav, Cortez, Barron, Bayrami, Dowell, Fernandez, Raskin, Rice, Gentles, Curtis, and Danilo. I've asked this a few times throughout the last 2 or 3 years, actually, Fraser. And maybe I should be asking it every 2 or 3 years because it should get better. Is that the strongest bench we've had for, well, how long?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of players on that bench that should or could have been first team starters. Really, because, I mean, well, Tav's the club captain. Cortez was 4 million. Connor Barron, I think Lyle Cameron's going to become what we hoped Connor Barron was going to be. But Barron still, he's a good, solid midfielder. Bayrami, whether he'll stay or go, again, he's a well thought of international. Dowell, we've debated time and time again. Fernandez, I think, is a big one for the future. Raskin, possibly one of our best players. It goes on. It is a really, really strong bench. So there could be, if Rothwell's getting tired, if he is still struggling after 60, 70 minutes, you got a choice of, you can stick Barron in, you can stick Rice in, you can stick Raskin in. There's options in every position. There's 2 good there's one striker that's been playing for us this season, and is it Gentles? How do you say it? Gentles?
Josh Gentles.
He's very highly thought of for a young player. So there's good options. There's definitely good options. Yeah,
I mean, there is rumours that Rangers are looking for a loan for Finlay Curtis. I don't know how true they are, but there is rumours that is what we are looking to do, which I think now when you look at the team, and I think you look at the bench, I think that's probably the best thing for the young guy. I would love to see Finlay playing week in, week out, or getting 15, 20, 25 games for Rangers this season. I just think now when you look at the team, I think if it was my choice personally, I would keep him at the club and I would play him in said games and give him said time. But unfortunately, I'm not the Rangers manager. And I just don't think he will get that under Martin this season. So if there is a loan move out there for him, then yeah, I'd be absolutely more than happy to see that. Bayrami's the interesting one for me, Fraser, on the bench. Again, he hasn't really showed anything in a Rangers shirt for about a year, maybe touching on a year. He's not showed anything. But it does seem as though that Russell Martin's going to give him a chance. He's brought him on a couple of times. And again, we're talking about how strong the bench is. We're talking about, if Diamandi's struggling, you can bring on a Barron. If Rothwell's struggling, you can bring on a Raskin. If Ant-Man's tiring, you can bring on, I don't know, a Cortez, or maybe even a Dowell in that position. Where does Bayrami fit in this Rangers team for you?
Well, I don't know, because we've got Asgard to come in, who I think comes in ahead of Bayrami in a very similar position. So I think he's the sort of player it'd be useful if we keep him, but I think if we can get a few million for him, I would let him go, to be honest. Because we've got options. I suppose if we do get rid of Dowell, Bayrami's probably worth keeping. But I don't think you can't keep the 2 of them with Asgard as well, because where does Asgard fit in this starting 11 tonight? Because Ant-Man's he's our new right winger. Gassama is on the left. Raskin could be back in there. So does Diamandi come out for Asgard? If he does, then Diamandi's on the bench. So does he then come on before Bayrami?
It's a good position to be in, though. If you're asking, where does Asgard come in and play? Because we've got A, B, and C. Because we haven't had that over the years, Fraser. We haven't had that for such a long time. And get into, the start of this season, 2 games against Panathinaikos. We've played Motherwell. We're playing Plzen the night. Then we've got Dundee at the weekend, and then we've got Plzen midweek. I mean, there's your opportunity if everybody's fit and they've had a good pre-season. Ant-Man starts tonight. Asgard starts at the weekend. Gassama maybe gets a rest at the weekend and then back in. So it's a good problem to have. We're already looking at that bench and going, it's strong-ish. It's stronger than what we've had, but we're also going to add to it as well.
I remember the season we won the league with Gerrard, 55 season. We had 2 strong players for every position, and it took Gerrard a couple of years to build that. But we did. I remember we could play midweek and we could play a completely different team at the weekend, but they'd all slot into their positions and do exactly the same job. It almost didn't matter who he put at left back, who was in they all knew that there was a set job they had to do. And I think that's really what Martin's looking at. I think, wear them out for 60, 70 minutes and then bring a whole raft of new players in the same positions that are as good. I think you'll see a lot of rotation. And I don't necessarily think that'll be, you won't see a player for a week and then someone else. I think the rotation will be 60, 70 minute subs rotations. And then maybe the ones that come on for the last half hour, they'll maybe then start the next game. And the other players will do the last half hour.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a brilliant point, actually, because in terms of how Martin wants his teams to play and how much energy and physicality he wants them to put into the games, I think that's a really good point, actually. And I have to bring up this super chat. I will just say that Mark on the rigs is sending me some lovely pictures of him and his holidays drinking a beer, watching the show. So get it up, you Mark. Sitting in Spain with a few bottles of beer. I am not jealous. William Gucci, super chat, thank you very much. Question, double finish, long live the Ant-Man. Look, Mr. Gucci, it would have been great if you had put belt at the end of that, but Mr. Gucci, thank you for the super chat. Double finished, Fraser, I don't think Double ever really got started, did he?
No, I feel from a wee bit because I actually don't think in any game this season he's been the worst player in the park. And I sometimes think when people they start to dislike a player, they jump on the one thing they do wrong and not the 8 or 9 things they actually do fine. They look for the mistake as opposed to looking for the things they do right. I think Dowell's been he's been put out of position. He's done a job. I don't think he's massively let us down, but I don't think he's massively influenced the games either. But I just don't think he's got a way back in with the fans. What he would have to do is he'd have to have some outstanding performances to get the fans back on his side. And I don't think he's that sort of player. I think he's actually just a hard-working, does his bit for the team sort of player. So I think he's finished. He's a decent utility player to have in the background, but I think if we get a couple of quid for him, he's gone. And he'd go with my best wishes. I think he's always tried. I think he seems a decent guy. The players like him, but I think he'd be better moving on somewhere else with a fresh start.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. Absolutely. Right, in terms of the game tonight, then, Fraser, Plzen, like the manager said in his pre-match, big physical team. That, I think in the past, I'm hoping it's changed, right? And I hope we see much better tonight. In the past, if we came up against a big physical team, Fraser, and they got a free kick, 50 yards out, then we were worried. We were absolutely worried about that ball coming into the box. But that is absolutely something that we're going to have to be bang on tonight from set pieces because Plzen will absolutely be a threat.
Definitely, but we're becoming a bigger physical team now. Everyone is signing 6 foot, 6'2". So I think it is something that he is looking to address to bring some bigger players in there. And Giga, he's a monster in defence. So, and Suter's good.
Fernandez isn't exactly a shrinking violet either.
And Butland himself, 6'4", something like that. So I think we're going to be getting better. You can be a big physical team, but you've still got to be good. So. As long as we outwork them and outplay them, I think we'll be fine. I think Giga, like I said, he's quite imposing in defence. So hopefully he helps where we've suffered in the past.
Oh, sorry, ribs, absolutely killing me. Apologies. It just comes on, and then I breathe, and then it's really, really sore. Right, folks, we are just about finished up here, but we've got one more thing to talk about. But just before I bring it up, can I please ask everybody who's watching on YouTube right now, if you haven't already, to please give the show a like and make sure that you are subscribed. We are heading, like I say, towards 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely incredible. If you're watching on Facebook, please make sure to give us a like or a love. You can actually do, I keep forgetting to mention that, or a love on Facebook, and make sure that you share it. Charles, it's good to see you in the comments as usual, my friend, and I love how you show me so much love. If you're watching on Twitter, please like, retweet, and make sure you're following us on Twitter as well. And if you are a member of the show, in about 9 minutes' time, join Alex and Fergie for your full match watch along. Whether you are a YouTube member or a Patreon member, you can watch the full match watch along on there as well. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for the super chats tonight as well, folks. Every bit of support is greatly appreciated. One final question for you, Fraser. Prediction.
I think it'll be 2-0 again. I think we'll do it. Ibrox crowd. I think we played a better team in the first tie. I mean, we played a team that we'd never beat before in the first tie and beat them 2-0 at Ibrox. So I think 2-0. I think we'll do it again.
Well, I'm going with singing the blues. 56-0. Why not? Why not? But yeah,
we'd be through then.
Yes, we would. Well, I mean, I don't know. We would still need to make changes for the second leg, you know. But yeah, I'm not giving a prediction because every time I say something, the opposite happens, and if I say it in a negative way, it happens. So I'm giving no predictions. So, folks, go and enjoy the game. Members, make sure you join us for the watch along, and we'll be back straight after the game on public YouTube, like you're watching right now, for full match reaction. So, thank you, everybody. Fraser, my friend, thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Take care.
And we shall speak to you all, as I always say before I end every show, very, very soon.